What's up, everybody? Welcome to Episode 1 of the Club 36 podcast. I'm one fourth of the Club 36 podcast, Quinn. To my left, we got Leland. To my right, we got D Brew.
What's happening?
Um, for y'all that don't know, we are missing one physically, but he'll be here next time. Um, really, we want to be kind of simple for the first episode. We don't want to do too much. So we're mostly going to be discussing today the NFL season so far. We are going to have like subtopics, you know, stuff that's been going on lately. We're going to get our, points of view on everything and, really just touch on a little bit of everything, but mostly focus on the NFL for the most part. Um, I'm going to just toss it over to D Brew and get his point of view on the Ime Udoka situation.
Man, that's tough because the first question, the main question you see is, why would he cheat on her? So obviously something went on that we don't know about because we're not living with them. So that's a tough subject. But as a coach, you just have to be smarter than that, period. You're a coach of a prominent organization that's been around for countless decades. So just be smarter.
Exactly.
That was a dumbass move in my opinion.
And you in Boston. Boston ain't the most friendly towards black folks. Like let's just keep it real. Not the most friendly towards, or at least what I ain't never been to Boston. I ain't never had no desire to go to Boston.
Me neither.
But yeah.
I mean,
I thought the suspension for the whole season was a little much. Like
it being a coworker just made it worse. And that could have got a lot messier than what it did.
That's true.
Because if something wasn't quote unquote consensual, man, that could have been a whole case.
but like, because some people were saying that he should have been fired instead of just suspended. I honestly think that
Suspension's cool, but firing would have been a bit.
only if, like you were saying, if it was non-consensual, then
Off top.
he should lose his job automatically. But if it's a consensual relationship, then because I wonder if the person that he was cheating with was also suspended, or did she lose her job?
Exactly. We didn't hear I didn't hear anything about that.
But I also heard that it was like it wasn't just one female; it was multiple females.
I heard the same thing, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I didn't do my own research on it, but
And sometimes stuff like that, it can be one. That's all it's gonna take. Then it's a domino effect.
Sean Watson situation, Bill Cosby situation.
Even if it didn't happen, they can come up and say it, and it's.
But it's just my thing is like what both of y'all was really saying as far as like why if you're gonna like why cheat anyway?
Yeah.
But also
You're in the
it's very rare that black men get head coaching jobs in the NBA to begin with.
Facts.
And you got the opportunity to coach one of the most just, one of the best franchises in the NBA. And you did a good job one year, you got your team to the finals and all that. But then you turn around and you can't even coach this season.
Because people won't remember what you did. They'll just remember scandal.
Exactly. That's going to be with his name forever.
Yeah.
Unless it comes out and like more facts come out and it's actually something that's different than what we've been hearing. Because like so far, all I've been hearing is that it was a consensual relationship. But at the same time, it's kind of like maybe that particular female found out he was messing with other females and that's why she probably brought it to light.
Yeah. So this really could get ugly.
And you also got to wonder, like, what do it do to the dynamic of the locker room? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they still have the same chemistry when he come back? Because you out for a year. So that assistant coach, the interim coach, he might do things differently. Like most people bring in their staff and you got some of the similar values.
Yeah.
But when you were the head coach, you might not agree with the way he was doing things. So you might, change it up.
So it may be a whole mess when he gets back.
Also, if they do good, let's say Boston win the finals, do you bring him back or you keep that interim coach right there?
Exactly. There's going to be a lot of question marks.
Because that's the image of the team on the line too.
Yeah.
And then the fact that roster may be different too by the time you come back. Because, you got some people that's up for contracts and you got some people that just might just say, you know what, I want to be traded. You just never know.
Yeah.
So it's like he's missing a whole season. Especially if it took you all these years to finally get this type of job and you kind of like took it for granted. I mean, I can't really say if he's guilty of anything or not because I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it's not a good look.
No.
You had this opportunity, you kind of just let it go right by you.
And that's the opportunity that a lot of well-deserving coaches won't get, and it may be worse because of that. Now they'll be like, might point the finger at him.
Yeah, because you look at guys like that's low key being blackballed by the NBA, like Mark Jackson, who deserves to be a head coach,
Man,
and he can't get a opportunity at all, and it's mostly because of this is just what I heard of his religious values. Like he's one that he doesn't push religion on his players, but he likes to pray before practice, before games, and he likes to basically preach to his players, kind of build up their faith. And he really can't get a job because of that.
That's crazy.
which is unfortunate because you would think a coach that actually cares about his players on and off the court,
Right.
that's a different kind of chemistry that could be built. I would typically trust a guy more like that.
Exactly. But, it's just that. Because I remember when the Lakers were originally looking for a head coach and Jason Kidd was one of the first names that popped up, a lot of people was like saying, you know what, we can't make him the head coach because of the scandal he had years ago with his domestic violence situation. So that's why he didn't get the head coach job with LA. And then you look at him now, he's in Dallas. Dallas one of the better teams in the league right now. So it's like, who's to say what would have happened if he would have actually got that opportunity? I mean, Frank Vogel did win a championship, but Frank Vogel, in my opinion, should have never been a head coach. You could have brought him on as an assistant coach. He could have been your defensive coordinator, but head coaching, not.
Because Vogel came from Minnesota, right? Or
Indiana.
Indiana?
Or stretch.
No, he coached Orlando for like 2 years, and then he wasn't coaching for a minute after he lost his job there. After he left Indiana.
Yeah. After Indiana, it was a gap.
So they just felt he was the best.
It's because
he was the best coach after not coaching for so long.
It's because the whole interview process. Frank Vogel, obviously, from watching him coach for 3 years, has no backbone. So he comes off as a pushover.
Yeah.
So that's mostly why he got the job.
A yes man
versus a Sloan type coach where it's like, hey,
they gonna buck system.
Yeah,
I feel it.
So that's one of the reasons is why he was in that position. But then you look at like right after they won the championship, all the changes that happened and stuff like that, he didn't make any type of adjustments as far as saying like, no, we should keep the roster like this. It's like whatever Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka said, that's what went. Because there's no reason why that championship roster should have been depleted how it was.
True.
They got rid of pretty much everybody. And then they struggled. They've been struggling since then.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they had, contract issues. When nobody outside of LeBron and AD.
They were really the only ones.
At that time. And then we got Westbrook, joining up.
I'm going to say Caruso was the not even after the championship. He was the year after the championship. And they basically, I'm still low-key mad about that whole situation.
Letting him go?
Letting him go, and then the fact that they didn't sign DeMar DeRozan because they didn't want to give him a third year. They only offered him a 2-year contract. And who's this? I'm not saying that the Lakers would have won a championship, but their team would have looked a lot different if they would have retained Caruso and got DeRozan on that team. Because I'm a Lakers fan, and I was excited to see Westbrook come, but at the same time, I knew that it really wouldn't work.
You knew better.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't really have high expectations last season. I figured they would at least make the playoffs, but them not even making the playoffs, I was disappointed.
It was similar to OKC, man. He'll shoot you in and right back out the game.
That's the thing that get me with him. Like, dude, talented.
Oh, yeah,
but some of his decision making, like, why do you do some of the things you do? Like, you making the game harder than what it is when you can just make the simple pass, or like he'll drive. And I mean, I played basketball. I want the best, but I got basketball IQ. Mm-hmm. If it's 3 dudes in the paint, I'm not finna drive and try to just go up over 3. I don't care if I'm LeBron or whoever.
Exactly.
I'm not finna just go. I'm gonna make that pass to the corner, hit the 3. But I don't know, man.
It's only because like when he was in college, he played the 2 guard.
Right. True.
He came into the league. They decided to make him a point guard for some reason, and that right there was like, I mean, even though he's won an MVP since then, that's still one of the biggest mistakes because he actually knew how to play off ball in college. He was a straight slasher in college.
Right. And that you can see it in his game, but like with the point guard, it's about facilitating the offense first and then getting yours second. Exactly. For shooting guard, you get yours first. You look at Kobe, you look at Tracy McGrady, James Harden. They go get theirs. Kobe was an all around player though, but he wasn't averaging 10 assists anytime in his career. You know what I'm saying? He was a scorer. Like, give him the ball, let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you could say the same thing about like Kyrie, because like Kyrie he's listed as a point guard really,
Yeah.
but he mostly was like a two guard because he's a score first guy.
Right.
He could play off ball. He doesn't necessarily need to facilitate and stuff like that. And I feel like Westbrook, even though he's not a shooter like Kyrie, he will probably be more successful playing off ball because of the fact that he's still one of the fastest, most agile guys in the league, even at the age he is right now.
No lie.
So it's like
He think about it, nobody will want to chase him around screens and around the man.
Exactly. Because I told Leland, I think it was like last week that the season opener last year when they played against Golden State and they had Westbrook setting picks, they scored on like 92% of those plays.
Efficient.
You gotta respect it.
But he decided he didn't want to do that no more.
I'm not sure what.
That's just like AD though. Like these dudes, AD when he played the 5 instead of the 4, Lakers were better. But he don't want to play the 5. Like, bro, you damn near 7'5". Like,
I mean, but he's also being known as Mr. Glass too. So how much longer are you gonna deal with that?
You know, that's probably what it is. He don't like to bang.
Yeah, he don't
low.
like that. He don't like that contact. He finesse type of player.
That's why he play mostly outside. He like to shoot. I mean, pull up 18.
Nobody should be surprised on that though, because he's always shown that. So obviously he's not gonna be Shaq, but you would like him to be out on the court more often.
It's just the year they won the title. He played mostly the 5 throughout the whole playoffs. The only time he didn't really like play center like that was when they played the Nuggets, and that's because they had Dwight down there bullying Jokic. But once they got to the finals, AD played mostly the 5, and he was realistically, if LeBron wouldn't have went off how he went off, AD was gonna win Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think about it. A healthy AD, how many people are gonna hold him? In a 7-game series, a healthy AD with his range and the way he can run that court.
And that's the game now. Like, you think about,
there's how many true centers are even
right?
Everybody's a stretch.
I think Embiid and Jokic is probably the closest thing to a center, and they both can shoot the ball too. They both can play outside, but they got a bigger frame, so like they can play down low. They got post moves, but other than that, like Karl Anthony Towns, AD, Jokic, Embiid, them dudes, they like to play outside. They prefer to play outside.
Yeah. It's just that, like, I get it this season because the system Darvin Ham wants to use, like, AD would be utilized like how Giannis was utilized in that offense because it's the same offense that Milwaukee runs. And that's why he wanted more of a stretch big at the center.
Yeah.
Which is why they got Thomas Bryant. Damon Jones, he's a rim protector. He's athletic. He could catch lobs, but he's not really a center that could stretch the floor.
Yeah.
And that's why I was trying to tell people, I was arguing with cats on YouTube. They talking about the Indiana trade. You don't need to get Miles Turner there. If you already got 2 centers on your team, it don't make any type of sense.
It don't. And I like Miles Turner game.
But he mostly played the 4 too, though.
But I'm saying, like, if
in the earlier years at least,
if you got Miles Turner to LA and he was playing the 4, he backed up AD, then I would say, yeah, go ahead, do it. But he's mostly gonna be playing the 5 because, like, you think about it, he don't really work that well with certain type of bigs because it didn't work with Sabonis.
Yeah.
True.
So I mean, and he played when he first got into the league. Roy Hibbert was still on Indiana. So, I mean,
you mean the ghost of Roy Hibbert?
I mean, it's just stuff like that. I mean, the roster decisions, to me, I think the Lakers can still be a playoff team with the roster presently constructed. They do need to try to get some wings. I've been saying that. They messed up on the deal with Utah with Bogdanovich. He in Detroit now. So it's like I don't know what they're gonna do, man.
Speaking of the Lakers though, what's up with your boy Schroeder?
Man.
So you went for a max deal 2 years ago, if I ain't mistaken?
Yep.
You signed a 1 year with the Celtics, then you go to
nothing.
the Rockets, and now you come back to the Lakers for what, 2 years? Because the initial contract was for what, 4 and 60 or 4 and 80?
It was like 484.
Definition of a DAN. Dumbass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Man, that's because he was betting on himself, man. He thought that if he played a certain way, he would get a max. He thought he was $100 million guy.
He's don't
not.
get me wrong. I
he
love
had to
Schroeder
been high.
game because he is the type that he can score too, but he don't make as many mistakes. Like he can get his and kind of facilitate the offense. But at that time when the Lakers offered you that 4-year, $84 million contract, I didn't see anybody else offering that or that needed a point guard of that stature at that time.
Yeah, he should have.
So he should have just took that 84. Because I mean that, you know, sometimes dudes get contracts and they undervalue. Like I get it, but I thought that was a fair contract for him. I thought that was like appropriate. Actually, I really thought he was getting over, to be honest. Yeah, it was $84 million, but
because you gotta think about it, man. That dude, he's always been mostly like a 6-man.
True.
And he's flourished as a 6-man.
Yeah.
So
Lou Williams, like.
Yeah, so I'm like, bro, like how many guys that are traditional 6-man are getting that type of contract?
None that I know of.
So he passed on that and was like, you know what? I'm gonna bet on myself. I can get $100 million contract this offseason.
Well, now Lamar Jackson.
You're talking about 6-man. Jamal never got a contract for no.
And he's,
but they never. Jamal Crawford never looked for nothing like that neither.
But that's my whole point. He's probably the best 6-man that I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you think of 6-man, you think I think of Lou Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I think of early James Harden. OKC. Yeah. You know, he flourished into what he is. And Jamal Crawford, like them 6-men.
Those, and then I would say Manu Ginobili too.
That was gonna be my next one.
But that was because he could have started anywhere, but
but
he was on any other team. He's a starter.
That's a prime example of the whole Dennis Schroeder thing. Manu Ginobili didn't bet on himself.
True. Yeah.
He was like, man, this is my role. I'm a flourish in this role.
He got paid.
Exactly.
And got rings too.
He got rings.
You got both.
So, I mean, that's just
what else are you playing for at that point?
You know, some of these cats just want money. They don't care about no rings, man. Damian Lillard.
Man, that
I knew he was gonna say it, bro.
Man, I was waiting.
I knew he was gonna say it. And they don't give dude no help, to be honest. Like,
I get the loyalty part, but dog, wouldn't you be damn near depressed after that long?
Bruh, him and Bradley Beal, they only care about the money. They don't care about winning. Bradley Beal been complaining about Washington for all these years, and he's still there.
He resigned, didn't he?
Bro.
Why?
I don't know. That's crazy though.
Like, cause he was a free agent this offseason, and he really, like, realistically, if he wanted to win but also get paid, he could have pushed for a sign and trade. I'm pretty sure it was teams out there that was willing to deal with Washington to get Bradley Beal. But he decided, let me stay in Washington and get this bread and take these L's. Because that's all they want to do.
I mean, that's it.
Because I guarantee, because Washington started off decent last season, but Washington will probably be picking in the lottery for sure.
Yeah.
Them, the Rockets, I don't care. The Rockets.
Rockets. Young. We got an excuse. We young. we in full rebuild.
Dude, they got a lot of potential in Houston. It's just the fact that they got a lot of cats that's big-headed, cocky. They need to humble themselves. And until then, they're going to continue to take L's. And really, those are the only two teams other than – because Detroit made some good moves. I think Detroit might sneak in the playoffs this year.
Who was their big signing this offseason?
I don't really think they had a big signing. It's just the fact that they had one of the best drafts.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Because they was able to make trades to get more draft picks, and then the fact that they got Bogdanovich over there now, he a 3-and-D guy. He can shoot. You got Cade Cunningham. You got I don't know them rookies' names, but they should be a nice team coming up this year. They might sneak into the play-in. They could upset somebody getting the playoffs.
How y'all feel about the play-in? Speaking of,
I'm still getting used to it, man.
To me, I think that the play-in only makes sense if the teams that are like sniffing the playoffs, if they all have like the similar records.
Right. I agree with that. Because that's what I thought it was at first. Like, I thought it was, if you had similar record. But then I forgot exactly who it was. Their record was significantly worse, and they got into the play. Now, they didn't make it, but they got into the play. And I was like, why are they even being considered for this?
Because I remember, like, the first time they did it was in the bubble.
Right.
And the teams that was fighting for the playoff spot, they had similar records. I think they was, like, almost tied with the same record. So I understood that.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can have a team that's 10 games above 500 playing for a playoff spot against a team that's 10 games below 500.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I say if you're going to have a play-in tournament, just have it for the 8th seed instead of the 7th and 8th, because you got some teams that are like I said, they 10 games above the team that they playing against. It don't really make any sense. So, well, we talked about the NBA, even though we wasn't supposed to, but that's cool.
Good.
We can talk about the NFL. We are in week 3.
Yes.
We got some teams that are kind of disappointing right now. We got some teams that are exciting to watch, that are surprising a lot of people. Just want to know how y'all feel about. Let's just tackle divisions instead of just saying teams. Let's talk about the AFC West, because I think that division gonna be competitive.
That's a tough one to get out of, because right now it's a long shot that could be 3 teams getting out of there. That's gonna be tough. It just, most of that depends on the health of Herbert, though.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think he should be set. That's the face of your franchise. That's an injury that can get re-aggravated and made worse by any single hit.
Because he had the same injury as Kamara, and Kamara set out last week. Now this running back, quarterback.
I mean, if that's your ribs, that's all that torque coming from your core.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
That's
You a
affecting
quarterback,
every throw.
You touching the ball every play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's teams out there that they're not going to say it, but they know where he's hurting.
Yeah.
And somebody can go in and
I was surprised they played him, man. Especially it's
I think that was a dumb move.
And because ain't like it was a do or die today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have let Chase Daniel take it and then, bring Herbert back in this week.
You have the ground game to support him. You have a solid skill set. You got Mike Williams. I mean, you got no reason to thrust them back in there at week 3. They're not fighting for playoffs now.
Right.
But they weren't even.
It's a lot more at stake right now.
They weren't even playing a divisional opponent.
They played the Jags today, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jags slaughtered them.
It wasn't like it was Oakland, Denver, or KC.
Yeah, exactly.
And then speaking of Oakland, again, offense, they have the weapons, but inconsistent.
Ooh, I'm thankful they lost.
The defense has so many question marks too.
I'm going to tell you how the game went, because I'm a Titan fan, so I watched the game. Now, Tennessee did a good job, because obviously Devontae Adams is their best player.
He'll get his.
And I think that's also the issue. They try to pass the ball too much, because Josh Jacobs was gashing us for like 8 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? But then they got away from it. So halftime, they were down. It was 21 to 10, I think, or 24 to 10. So the second half came back, and that's a manageable lead. Like, you can come back from that. Ain't like you have to air the ball out. And the second half, they didn't run it. They was just like, we're going to try to pass it. And like I said, I understand you got Adams and you got Waller. But Tennessee did a good job of stopping them. But the dude that surprised me today, I think his name is Hollins.
Yeah.
Role play like he was Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson all in one today. He was mossing our corners. Man, he had Hooker turned around on a stiff arm. It was all bad.
But that chemistry with Adams and Carr could also be a detriment to that offense too, though, because he's going to force feed that. It's going to be times where you might have Renfro sneaking in or Waller.
Yeah.
You still have Darren Waller.
Yeah.
So that could work against them too, though.
I just piggyback off what you're saying. I do think that, because I didn't really watch the game like that, but the parts of the game I did watch, he was trying to force it. Because even when Adams had caught that touchdown pass, he was still double covered on that play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you still got weapons around the field.
Yes.
And forcing it to him, teams are going to be you know what? I'm not saying they're going to leave Renfro and Waller open, but they're not going to put that much attention on them because they feel like Carr is going to force it to Adams.
And I would think that's enough of a trust system, because when Renfro did catch over 100 last year. So, I mean, that ought to be like a safety net. You ought to know he's coming around the corner somewhere.
I don't get it.
Too many questions around that team, especially with that defense. You can score 30 a game if you're giving up 40.
Because outside of Max Crosby on the D-line, really their D-line is their strong point. Their linebackers secondary are very...
They haven't had that solid secondary probably since Woodson was there. Honestly.
Charles Woodson.
It's been that long.
Well, the injuries played a big part in their secondary being how it is right now, too. especially I don't know about the corners, but especially at the safety spot, safety stayed getting hurt over the past 3-4 years. But really, I think that division, everybody know Kansas City right now. You got to beat them in order to win that division.
Yeah.
But I think that Kansas City is not as strong as people think they are.
Right.
Offensively, they're gonna get what they get. Their defense has not been good in I don't know how long.
Kind of like how you mentioned their front seven. KC, it's a similar deal. The secondary has been their weakness for a while because even with Jones and those guys, if you could somehow find a way to buy enough time, you have a chance on that secondary.
And they lost to the Colts today.
Yeah.
Also though, so when I think they first game they played Arizona, week 1.
You talking about the Raiders?
The Chiefs. I'm talking about
the Chiefs. I believe so.
Look that. You about to look it up?
I got you.
Yeah. I think they played Arizona week 1, but I'm not 100.
But for the rest of that division, again, still you got Denver. I'll try to remove bias, but I'm also a realist. It's early, so not expecting instant chemistry, but that's another team with a lot of potential, but just got to watch it week by week. And
maybe if they get new uniforms, they could do better. They don't have the same uniforms since 98.
The uniform is cool, but health is a big thing of that too, because with Surtain out with that shoulder, he's still questionable for today. And then you have Simmons, who's a top 5 safety.
Yeah.
He's out at the earliest he can get back is week 6 because of the IR designation.
4 week, yeah.
So that's another top safety in a very tough division. With
then y'all lost your receiver.
Judy. Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick.
Forgot, when Sutton got hurt, Tim Patrick caught 70 passes, and nobody knows who he was. So injuries, man. But definitely a tough division, but still early. Yeah, people realize it's 17-game season.
For sure.
I feel like that division probably be the most competitive. So let's go to the least competitive division, the NFC East.
Yeah. Right now, I can't.
I mean, you said it already.
I think that
said it.
After the first 3 games, Philadelphia looks like they're gonna easily win the division,
and they look good, man. I'm surprised by Jalen Hurts. Like that, I seen the potential there, and I think some of it was also play calling last year. They tried to do so much with him, like passing, and they didn't have receivers like that. So you bring in A.J. Brown now. Goddard has stepped into his own at tight end. Devontae Smith, I don't know if y'all seen today, that boy went off. I think he had like 154 yards in the first half.
And we've been waiting on that.
They got the weapons. And the thing about it, they don't only just have it on offense, they got it on defense too. Their defense is solid, man. Slade looks like the best corner in the league.
Man, I love Slade. I was listening to him talk about his matchup with DK. I don't know if y'all seen it. It was on the pivot. He was talking about his matchup with DK last year.
Yeah.
And he said, man, they got into it. And he was like, y'all, I mean, I know y'all seen DK play before. He tried to bully the corners and everything like that. And Slade was like, I'm not a talker, you know what I'm saying? But he said when him and DK got into it, he's like, F the game. Like, I'm about action now. Like, what you want to do? But I like Darius Slade, man. I didn't get to watch him much because he played for Detroit.
And a lot of people forgot how good he was because of him playing in
Detroit. Do that though, man. You had Calvin Johnson. You had Barry
legend killers, man.
Because one of my favorite running backs in the league plays for Detroit. Swift, DeAndre Swift.
He's a dog, but he's gonna fall into the.
But
I would love to see him in Houston.
Anywhere but Detroit, honestly, man.
I'm just saying.
After that, I mean, Washington. Week 1, Washington looked good. You know what I'm saying? But
the uniforms look good.
And I see what they try to do. I watched them offensively with Wentz. Wentz is a little weak-minded. Like, he get down on himself. That's why he wasn't successful with the Colts.
I just never trusted the dude.
No.
And
it's just something about him. If I can't put one finger on it, it's like,
I guarantee you, if he get hurt,
this nigga's
then watch they gonna turn it around.
Only because know who their backup is though.
Heineke, I think.
Oh,
but the only reason I'm saying that is because the times he was in Philly, every time he got hurt
Nick
and the
Foles.
backup came
Nick
in,
Foles
they,
came in there.
they started doing damage. So
You're
I'm
right
saying,
about that.
so it might be the same
True
Washington
story.
because Washington got some weapons too on both sides of the ball.
Because there's no way you got those guys. And at one point, it was two points.
They scored 8
They
the
finished
whole
with
game.
8,
They had
but for
2.
Yeah, it was off it was a punt, I think.
I'm not even sure, man.
Oh no, it was.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't finish.
It was
that
a
game. I
running
tried.
play. They called Scott in the end zone. Boston Scott. It was a running play.
That was a tough game to watch.
Yeah, that one.
But I mean, and they got weapons on offense. You got Gibson, you got Scary Terry, even
Samuel.
Curtis Samuel,
Yes.
Debo, that's Debo brother. Because they play the same. Like the first week they was giving
And
him.
how can you not? How are you managing 8 points with that?
Well, then again, I mean, yeah, they got the weapons, but look at their opponent. Philly is fucking nasty.
Yeah, because especially I think, like you said, that's thoroughly favored in that division. Because look, Dak's out,
as it should,
and then Zeke.
I mean, I
I
wouldn't.
don't know.
If Dallas was completely healthy, I don't give a fuck if they was playing PV. I'm picking PV to beat Dallas.
no,
I'm just saying.
Hey, see, nah, man,
PV.
I can't.
Man, I can go worse because PV not bad like that. I can go Texas College would beat Dallas in a football
Man,
game.
shut
What's
the
it, Texas
hell
College in
up.
Tyler, Texas.
I'm just saying, man.
Hey, with the upset,
I can go worse than that.
bro.
The 03-04 Brazos High School JV football team that I was a part of,
We would have won.
we would beat
a
Dallas.
shit show.
I'm talking about at 14, 15 years old, we'll go out there and beat grown men.
Them Cowboys ain't gonna like that, man.
Hey, I'm just being real. I've never been a fan of Dallas. I used to love Emmitt Smith, but I still hated Dallas. So,
And I don't like what they're doing with Pollard either. So I think this might be his last year in Dallas, honestly.
The issue that I see with Dallas is they don't have an identity. They don't know whether they want to run the ball or if they want to be, passers. And right now you got Cooper Rush at quarterback, so it's. I mean, the dude ain't do bad. He kind of remind me of like an Andy Dalton type.
I mean, what do you expect from him, though? I mean, with that freak injury, nobody was expecting to see him.
Yeah.
it's just like we talking about Pollard. I would love to see Pollard in Baltimore.
He would be good.
I would love to see him utilized, like we discussed earlier. Special teams game, catch out the backfield, runs hard, has breakaway speed. I mean, it's like, I'm not even a Cowboy fan, but I'm frustrated seeing him just kind of get lost by the wayside.
But I think their first mistake was letting Amari Cooper go.
Super.
Yeah, because now everybody's doubling CD. Who else is going to get open?
Because CD is all y'all have now.
Dalton Schultz doesn't count.
And you got Gallup, but
Gallup, he stayed hurt.
he coming
You
off
have
a
him, but
major
you don't.
injury as well.
So I mean, like y'all really and what's his name? Was it Wilson last year, number 1?
Yeah.
Well, he went to
He flashed for a couple games, but he's gone.
he in what's team did he go to?
I forgot.
He's not in
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, all you got is CD.
And they got the Noah Brown dude. I had never heard of him until last week. But he
The name sound familiar.
yeah, he pretty decent. I think he had like 7 catches for like 95 yards or something last week.
That's not gonna be enough to draw coverage to where
right.
CD's gonna have a rough year.
It already started that way. 'Cause
Yes,
everybody's expecting him to be, wide receiver 1 conversation.
and beat double coverage all the time. Like, man,
But
defenders
so far,
get
man.
paid too. So
And then what about the Giants? That's the only ones.
Only thing, Giants they gonna finish last.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Because even with as you seen, even with a healthy Saquon, he's literally holding that team back. I'm
Saquon
sorry.
look good, but
To come back from what he did and start
do
producing
y'all
like
think
that early,
do y'all think Jones really got people to throw to?
Not necessarily.
Because Galladay, they went and got Galladay, but
Paid him all that money and he not
he
even
ain't
playing.
he ain't
did
did shit.
nothing. Kadarius Toney, I like that kid, but
He needs
Outside
to,
of Galladay, a lot of those guys are young too. Still, so
Galladay
it's a
should-
lot of growth that needs to
I said
take.
Galladay should have either stayed in Detroit or he should have made that trip over to LA with Matt Stafford because when I first heard about him signing in New York, I was like, this has to be the biggest fucking idiot ever.
Cause yeah, think about it. What if he did stay in Detroit?
I don't know why.
that St. Brown and Galladay combo could have been trouble.
Yeah, 'cause
St. Brown,
St.
nasty.
Brown,
I ain't
nasty.
gonna lie.
Yeah. So what if you had Galladay over here to draw even more coverage away?
That boy said.
Just saying, man.
I agree with you though, because I did the same thing when he signed with the Giants. I was
Bruh.
like,
Wow.
wow.
Why?
Like
Wow.
out of all the teams,
What made you Daniel Jones?
What intrigued you to sign with the
Daniel
Giants?
Jones?
Because I know he had more suitors than that.
But
Had to.
I'm
Like,
saying, man,
I would have took less and gone elsewhere.
that division for sure, Phillies. I don't see.
Man,
Jalen Hurts, to be honest, looks like the MVP right now. And I don't know if everybody saying it because, you know, you hear Josh Allen and Lamar.
and rightfully so, because both of those guys you mentioned, Lamar,
yeah.
you gonna pay that man.
Exactly.
You gonna pay that
I'm glad. I'm glad.
I like the approach he took too, to where he's not he shell contract talks. He's just playing ball.
And that's
You don't get
that's the
that out
best
of
way
too
to
many
do it.
younger players, especially of that caliber, who can talk.
right.
because how many times have a player been disputing contracts and it actually worked in their favor? Because then most of the time you try to play for big contracts, you end up getting hurt
or just
True.
struggling.
Yeah, you playing not
fall off.
you forcing it. You're not really playing your game. But still, man, that's still, like y'all said. I think that's Philly's division. I mean, I know it's still early, but it's just that right now Philly looks like one of the best teams in the league.
And they are.
For
Yeah.
real, man.
They are. I miss
On
my
both
boy AJ
sides?
Brown, but that was like what they needed
For real.
to get over that little hump on offense. Because I think when the playoffs, they played the Bucks first round last year, if I ain't mistaken, in the wild card.
I think so.
And they didn't really do anything.
They didn't start rolling until it was too late.
Yeah. So they built off that last year, and now they looking good. And I guess since we was already on the topic of Lamar, might as well go to that AFC and talk about that division,
That division gonna be tough too.
AFC North.
Ooh,
I don't even.
Cause I
don't know.
I
I don't know. I mean, Ravens look good. Ravens' issue is injuries. They always like lose.
their backfield's been getting
Key
beat up for a
players.
couple years.
Right.
If that backfield is healthy, that's theirs to lose.
And I know before the
It
season,
damn sure ain't Pittsburgh with fucking Mitchell Trubisky going the ball. Hell no.
I remember before the season,
I'm sorry, but that's
Everybody-
not gonna work.
everybody was talking about the Ravens not having a receiver. Like who was he gonna throw to?
I mean,
they said Andrews. You know, Mark Andrews is a good tight end, but Rashad Bateman has shown that he could
Yeah,
be.
he was hurt all last year. So
Rashad Bateman. Because when he came out of the draft, I was telling you that
we
Tennessee
yeah,
should pick
that
him
we
up
shoulda got
because
him.
I remember watching him in college. The man, he cold.
Yeah.
Only one I don't like in their receiving core is Duvernay because he went to Texas.
I saw that coming. It was a matter of time.
Duvernay nice too though.
That return game too, though. Clutch.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How many players from UT is cold that's in the league right now? See that y'all too long to say it.
I can't even
saying,
think of
man.
anybody that came out of UT in the last few years.
52 years.
Man,
Nah.
goddamn.
Earl Campbell was the last good player to come from UT.
Ricky Williams came out of there.
Thank you. Ricky came in and
That
dominated.
don't count.
That
That don't count.
That boy said 52 years.
Man, what?
Earl Campbell was the last one.
Out of line.
Ricky Williams was decent. VY disappointed everybody.
That was Jeff Fisher's fault.
Just saying. Then you got the Griffin boys. All them suck.
Michael
Nah,
went bad.
Cedric was the worst.
All them,
by
all them
far.
suck. All of them.
Trying to think of
Michael Huff was pretty good.
Michael Huff was good.
Roy,
Nathan Basher was
No.
pretty good too.
Did they have a receiver come out?
Roy,
Besides Jordan Shipley, that's the last one I remember.
Man, most of their receivers don't really pan out like that.
because Roy
It's
didn't
'cause of
really
the
do much
system.
in Detroit
Roy-
either.
Roy was decent,
Roy was all right.
but like their receivers don't really pan out because of the system that they ran. Man, they didn't really run no real routes at UT,
Mm-mm.
and that's why a lot of their receivers don't really pan out. But then again, you can say that about a lot of teams, like a lot of college teams. Like when they players come out, they don't really pan out because of the system that they run. It's like you say, everybody used to say the same thing about like Alabama running backs. They never used to pan out in the league because of the system. They play
Mark Ingram still getting a check.
well. It's because they had
Well,
the
he
best
was
offensive line in the country. So
Yeah.
like they made their running backs look a lot better than what they were.
I would say
Trenton Richardson.
Well,
he
Trent,
just gonna shit,
it's because he couldn't see.
bro. The hole would be
Lacy.
big. It wasn't like it was small. Like it'd be a large hole, and bro would go right to the
You know what I'm
defense.
saying, man? He got a
'Cause
whole size of I-10. He decided, let me take this feeder instead.
Because we've all played the position, so we get how they see it differently on the field. But sometimes it's like, man, how? Like in film study, he had to. What didn't happen?
he was probably the biggest disappointment in the last
Yes,
I say 10 years
Easily.
from Alabama players.
You still got Drake. You got your Henry. Mark Ingram is still in the league getting a check.
Mark Ingram wasn't bad, though.
I think that the running back that Alabama got right now, Gibbs, that came from Georgia Tech, he's going to be nasty. He reminds me of like a mixture of like a Alvin Kamara with trying to think, bro. It'll come to me later. But he's versatile. Like, he's leading Alabama in receiving right now.
I seen that.
And he's a running back. He's real shifty. He's smooth. He was playing at Georgia Tech. Nobody even knew about him playing at Georgia Tech.
We gonna shut him down, though.
Nah.
Y'all gonna shut down this computer. Yeah.
I'm ready for that game, though. We rebuilding, though. LSU, we rebuilding, man.
Yeah, they need to rebuild the whole program.
But
I think it's that quarterback, man.
It's
he doesn't pass. That boy
it's the offense, bro.
He just runs, though. He don't even try to like pass the ball.
Outside of Burrow, I couldn't tell you a quarterback out.
Oh, they all sucked.
Yes.
Y'all sleep.
Mettenberger was good, though. I ain't gonna lie. Who you talking about?
Who we missing? Don't say nothing by. Hold on.
I hope
Don't
you
say
ain't gonna
nothing
say
by.
Jordan Jefferson.
I wish you would.
Y'all know I hated Jordan.
Okay.
Jefferson.
Okay. Cool.
Damn, I'm trying to remember his Jared Lee. Y'all sleep on my boy Jared Lee.
But Bud.
at LSU.
Bud.
His
Oh,
home
man.
boy.
I remember watching it was an LSU game and Jared Lee was playing and the commentator was saying, I feel a pick six coming on, and he threw a pick six right after that. I was like, man, that's
Boy was on them bloody steaks that day.
Man.
yeah. Speaking of them bloody steaks, that bombshells out here, that drink that I got was weak as hell.
Service was too, honestly. Bro.
I don't like bombshells, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
It's because I didn't want to get a beer, but I didn't want to get something that was like too crazy, had me up in here slurring and all that.
That's why you gotta go to Applebee's.
Man, I might go to Applebee's after this. Sangria.
No, but I mean back on the AFC North. Steelers is hard to.
It's hard to read them right now.
Yeah, it's hard to read them because you got Najee, but
with TJ,
and I think Najee gonna have an injured player. Yeah,
because there's nobody else. They gonna start tagging.
And it's already started. You know what I'm saying? He already had a foot issue. They still gonna keep running them. Receivers,
they got athletes.
Claypool, Johnson.
That tight end's not even bad.
They got receivers.
He's nice.
They just don't have they don't have a quarterback, and they haven't had to look for one.
They might have to try
years.
Pickett, man. They might have to try Pickett.
Trubisky ain't it.
I know a lot of people are calling because they want Pickett. They just want to see Pickett in the game.
To me, Trubisky was never that guy. So when they signed him, I was confused.
I couldn't say that he wasn't because he was with Chicago, which was.
But just some of that decision making though.
Daniel Jones like.
Yes.
Daniel Jones like.
Same player.
Ryan Tannehill too. He do it sometimes too. Make some stupid decisions.
I would take him before all them other two.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good game today. I ain't gonna lie, he had a good game today. But Bengals, I think they got Super Bowl hangover right now.
Yeah, I mean, because they started off slow, and I feel like the game they played today might boost their confidence a little bit. Where they start rolling a little bit now.
Because they got a bad man in quarterback. I ain't gonna lie.
No, they know their trio of receivers though.
True. With
Boyd went off tonight. If somebody had a quiet night, Boyd can come.
And you got Mixon at running back.
Exactly. And you still got P. Ryan out there.
Who they need to cut is Eli Apple sorry ass.
Burnt toast.
They need to cut him. He should not be on anybody's team, to be honest.
Man.
Nah, he need to put him on the same team as Tyrann Mathieu, homeboy.
Sorensen?
Yeah, they need to be on the same team.
Who is Sorensen with now?
Man, I think he with the Saints.
I think he with the Saints.
I swear.
No,
I swear.
So
yes,
man.
He might need to move the linebacker. He might be good at linebacker.
He might need to move right here.
But at safety, he's not it. He's definitely not it. Then you got Cleveland. They also hard to read.
Because they don't have a real quarterback right now.
So I think he can win them a couple games while Deshaun's out.
Right.
But even with Deshaun coming in, that's not going to be instant chemistry like some would almost expect. And that may be, and he may lose his first 2 games back. He ain't played for 11 games.
And I was going to say, he himself is probably rusty, so it's going to be hard.
Yeah, because when he played a couple of preseason games, he looked bad.
Well, look like me in middle school.
Because you can practice train all you want to, but nothing's going to replicate that game speed. with them damn shoulder pads.
Man, that was Coach,
Boy, that
was Coach Jackson's fault. Coach
boy had
Jackson
boy had Terrell Suggs shoulder
he
pads
told
as
me
a
go get some
seventh
pads.
grader.
He didn't say go get my pads. He just said go get some pads.
Because I grabbed the ones next to them damn massive pads.
But Cleveland, man, they gonna have to rely heavily on Chubb and Hunt.
Yep.
Rightfully so.
And then, Get Cooper the ball when you can.
You
Because
still got Joku too, though.
Yeah.
and Joker had
He
a
went
big
off.
game
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
And I think Brissett's serviceable enough because they could be in a much worse position.
Because it's not like
He
he's
can make
going
the
out
throws.
he's not forcing anything. He just playing his game.
he game manager type
And
of
yeah,
quarterback.
he's always been a solid quarterback.
And especially with that whole Watson thing, it's kind of good to come back to somebody who's just low key, stay out the way and play ball.
True.
For real, man.
I don't really know what's gonna happen with that division though, because
I mean, like if we were to say who's gonna win it right now, it would be Baltimore.
Yeah.
But you just never know, because since he could wake up and take over, but at the same time they could slump, continue to slide down.
True.
I don't know how I forgot that, but Odell.
I'm waiting on Odell
What
to get
about
signed.
Odell?
The
I
what?
think he might be in somewhere in shape, waiting for a contender to
Oh,
pop up.
he said. So what I heard was he's waiting to basically the second half of the season, and he's gonna try to go to a team that's competing for a Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But I hope he don't go to Buffalo.
All right, KD.
Nah, hell no.
Well, you can't call him KD because
Shit.
It depends. Hey, it depends on how much money he wants.
'Cause-
I wouldn't
'cause-
mind seeing him in blue and orange.
Think about it. If he gonna go to a team in the second half of the season, he's only signing for that part of the season. So means off season, he's gonna be a free agent again. Who's to say he don't do the same fucking shit?
he
I
might.
mean, yeah, but at this stage, he's not going. I don't think he's going to get anything past maybe 2-3 years.
I said Green Bay. I think that he would
Ooh.
fit in Green Bay.
And they could use him.
Yes.
They could definitely use him
Yes.
because
You can't depend on Jones and Dillon to get 150, 200 on the ground every week.
and Randall Cobb about 47.
I forgot he was
Hey,
still playing.
I was saying, hey,
So-
they better off getting Greg Jennings and Donald Driver to come back
Man,
after
shut
that.
the hell up. Hey, go back and get Amon Green too while you at it.
Dorsey Levens.
Oh man,
I was a youngster. Hell,
Dorsey Levens.
But yeah, that's what I heard on Odell. A lot of people think he going to the Saints because Jarvis there. They like playing together. He's from Louisiana.
That'd be cool and all, but if like you said, if he want to go to a team that's competing, New Orleans will not be competing.
You don't think so?
Nah, man. Only because Winston, he started to look
He
like
didn't
the
have a
old
terrible
Jameis Winston
game.
last week.
That boy got pain everywhere though.
Man, all the stupid ass drills he be doing in the off season, he be hurting.
Nah, they need to cut them damn cameras off.
They got
They
that
do be doing some wild
juking water balloons and shit. Like, how the hell is that gonna help?
The
you in
water
the
balloons
game?
don't weigh 280 pounds.
Hey, y'all remember when he ran through the gauntlet?
Boy, that shit look terrible.
It's on his ass.
That's right there.
Man.
Let me think about that gauntlet at Brownsville.
Man, he tried to run
Them motherfuckers weren't even,
Tore your
them
arm
things
off.
weren't even moving, man. You run through that, you got half your arm gone already. And
Still hanging on the damn shit.
Yeah, we ain't had the best equipment out there, bro.
They had best nothing.
The grass itched.
Best,
Man, what?
they ain't had no good equipment. They ain't had no good coaches. Well, I ain't gonna say they ain't had no good coach. We had a couple of good coaches, but for the most part, a lot of them coaches ain't know what the fuck they was doing. That's because they never played the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I also think the ones that did play, they had them coaching the wrong position. Like, it don't
like
make sense.
you got a coach that played linebacker in college, but he out here coaching kickers and shit. Like,
Yeah.
what the,
Or receivers.
yeah, a dude that plays center coaching your running backs. That don't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all they should have took time to hire people that actually played the game and actually had knowledge at a certain position. Realistically, they probably could have just had Coach McDonald just run the show, because I feel like he probably would have did a better job anyway.
Him or Hanzelka.
Him, Hazelka,
I don't think he wanted to.
Coach Jackson too.
He got tired of the politics. And
Yeah, he got tired of that
when
a long time ago.
when we were young, I didn't even know what they meant until we
Experienced it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, why this dude in the game? School board, parents work there.
Yeah, 'cause I say the same thing, and I don't give a fuck who gets offended. Like Derek Maha, he had no business playing corner. No business playing corner. And then he cannot cover a book. I'm saying that no skills, no agility, no acceleration, nothing.
Maybe like a strong rover outside linebacker type.
Yeah, a strong bench. That's what he would have been on. He would have been on the bench. I'm just saying, man.
But
'Cause-
we lost a lot of games because of stuff like that, though. Like, we never made it past the first round. in football. And the teams we played, like Little River, my sophomore year,
Man,
they were a good team, but
we were more athletic by far.
It's just they were. I'm not
better
even.
coach.
I'm not. Oh, they were. I'm not even gonna say better coach. I'm gonna just say they were better prepared as far as like their game plan because they knew exactly what to do when certain personnel was on the field. Not only that, you could tell them boys had been in the weight room. Them boys were strong.
Facts.
And we didn't play too many teams where we just were like, oh, they strong. No, Little River was strong.
Physical.
Exactly. They weren't athletic like that, but they were strong.
Yeah.
Because when we played Schulenburg, I still don't understand. Now you can say coaching on that because
and Rice too.
Because like when we scrimmaged Schulenburg earlier that year,
killed them.
Yeah.
It
wasn't even close.
Go to the playoffs. We running a whole different game plan. It's like, why not run the same thing we did in the scrimmage? Because they didn't change anything. They ran the same offense. They had the same defense. It's like, why not do the same thing that we did? And that was the thing about coach. You could tell they really want the season to be over with because they didn't show no emotion during the loss, after the loss, the days after, nothing. They just wanted the season to be over with so they can go chill. They didn't care about coaching. That's why Coach, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, I'll leave certain names out too, but y'all know where I was going with that. So, in sake of keeping it clean.
Really, I don't think we're going to be able to cover every division, but we could cover what divisions will be a toss-up.
Yeah.
So, like, we were just talking about the Saints, the NFC South. I don't really think that division is going to be all that competitive. That's why I really didn't.
Yeah.
You think the Bucks going to run away?
I think the Bucks are going to take it again.
Even with a loss today, they'll be fine.
The only thing with the Bucks, though, injury plague, too.
Yeah.
And I know Tom Brady has made, sugar out of shit a lot, but 40.
But then he's 45. I mean.
And you got
age catches up to age hadn't lost.
I also don't think that defense is as good as it was. It's still a good defense, but I don't think it's as good as it was.
Secondary.
They don't look the same at all.
Then with the Panthers, I don't even talk about y'all.
They don't know what they're gonna do.
They need some new uniforms too. Really, I mean, like
Atlanta has been a surprise to me though. To be honest, they got Mariota there at quarterback. I thought he was done. A good backup.
He need to cut those turnovers out. It was a couple of sloppy ones that I saw.
Forcing it.
Yeah.
They don't really have no real running back either.
They really don't. You got Patterson.
Patterson, man.
He's all around.
Yeah, he's all around, but
I'm talking about like a 3-down back.
Defensively,
he ain't got it.
They okay defensively. I like AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
I like him at corner. They D-line is pretty good against the run. I don't know about their pass rush.
I saw the little glimpses of the game earlier. They weren't really getting pressure like that.
Right.
I mean,
they run
stopping. They was pretty good, but pass rush.
And then you bring it back to the Saints. Winston, I don't know. I like Jameis Winston, but he's also gets hurt a lot.
And Kamara's not 100%
he got like 6 fractures in his back or something.
See, but they lacking all around though.
But I don't understand how because their defense was pretty good last year.
Damn good.
But I don't think they lost anybody except Gardner Johnson that went to Philly. But I don't think that one dude would have made, because you still got Lattimore. You still got Cam Jordan. You got the, what's the boy from UTSA?
He was suspended this week.
Davenport.
So I think he's back next week.
Who? Lattimore, he got suspended too?
I think him and Mike got suspended.
I know Mike did. I didn't know Lattimore.
Both of them did.
Oh, well, shit.
It was only a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Evans only got a game.
Yeah, man. That division, you can say AFC South. I think that's a 2-team race right now. It'll probably be Tennessee or Indy.
You don't think Jacksonville got even a chance?
Jacksonville started out. They're gonna be hot for a little bit, and then they're gonna fizzle out. I
will say they got better than they were last year, and that could be because of Doug Peterson. That was a good hire for them, I think.
Yeah. It's because they offense. I ain't gonna lie, their offense looks good, but I still don't really see too much from them defensively.
Nah, that's outside of Josh Allen.
That's it.
That's about it.
And I feel like Houston has potential, but Houston still won't really be competitive in that division.
I feel like Mills has regressed. I thought he looked pretty good last year.
I mean,
But what
it's
help
just,
does he
he
have?
doesn't
though?
really have
It's true,
receivers.
except Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's gonna
5'9",
he's
or
gonna get
5'8".
hurt. Unfortunately, you hate to say it, he's gonna get hurt.
Once they get whatchamacallit, the kid that got cancer, Mitchie from Alabama. But they still, even he's like a faster, slimmer receiver. I think they need like a big body type.
Like an Andre.
Shit, good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
They be passing on. It be receivers right there in the draft, and they pass on them, and they take.
That's
punters
the history of it, though.
I haven't watched them. How Stingley, because Stingley was their first pick.
Stingley did well even against Denver, but after a while,
I watched him at LSU, but I ain't seen him much this year.
That's all he got. Not much help on the other end.
It's just that I feel like Texans do have potential.
Yeah,
they need new uniforms. And
no, I'll agree on that.
I agree too.
It's been what 22 years.
So that whole division can use some new uniforms outside of Jacksonville because they just got new.
Jacksonville stuff kind of
Jacksonville's
icy.
straight.
Yeah, that's what I say. Outside of them, but
especially them all whites.
Tennessee can get some new ones.
Well, I mean, Tennessee's not bad.
No, they not.
I think it's just, I don't know. Indy could do some slight changes. They can't really do too much because they want to keep their classic.
You really can't.
Let's see. I think we really got enough time to cover one more division.
Let's go to the AFC East. Because that division kind of intrigues me, especially after today.
I still think it's Baltimore's division. Not Baltimore, Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah.
I think it's Buffalo's too, but I will say I slept on Miami because Miami had a good defense for the past few years.
And that's a scary team if that offense.
And I was like, man, Tyreek going to, and a lot of people said it. There was memes about it, videos. Tyreek going to Miami too is not going to get that man the ball deep. Now I seen them
they don't
going
have to in most cases, but
and I'm gonna tell you why. I still got Buffalo winning the division, but I'm gonna tell you why I like Miami. Their coaches basically took what Tua was good at in Alabama and put it into their offense there. And he do quick passes, and you got speed all around their receiver. So give it to them and let them do their thing.
Waddle, Hill, and then Gesicki at tight end, and Edmonds backfield.
Mostert.
Yeah, they
got speed everywhere.
They probably the fastest team in the league.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that once they really start into the meat of their schedule pause, that they won't be as successful because teams is gonna figure out the best way to take away what they're being good at right now.
Yeah.
But I still think Buffalo,
most complete team.
Mac Jones, he got hurt towards the end of the game, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
He broke his leg down there or something.
Because he really got his legs was stuck underneath. I forgot who that was that even got the pressure on him. I don't know if it was Calais or not, but his legs was like folding underneath him.
Yeah, he might be out for a little minute. And then you got the Jets. Jets young though, but except Flacco,
first overall pick.
You think so again?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
First
they definitely not in contention for that division though.
They got that offense definitely ain't going.
That division tough.
They need to go get Chad Pennington, Lavernius Coles,
Curtis Martin.
Lavernius Coles, bro. I forgot about dude.
They need to go get all them back because
Wayne Corbett too.
Wayne Corbett, all of them.
Yeah, the Jets.
Jonathan Vilma.
Man, see,
they in for a long season, man. Sauce Gardner doing his thing though.
I mean, that's it.
He is that dude when it come to, because Chase ain't do nothing today, and Chase is a possible top 5 receiver in the league. Possible.
Yeah, you could say that.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the receivers are deep, man. You got Adams, Diggs,
Cup,
Jefferson.
Oh, better not say no DK.
No,
I wouldn't. He not top 5. Top.
AJ looking like top 5 right now.
AJ,
I almost said top 10.
Only reason is because DK, he another one. I feel like he too cocky, man, and I don't feel like he hasn't done anything in the league for him to be as cocky as he is.
Yeah.
He don't dominate any opponent until you start getting double teamed on the line. You get triple teamed in the red zone. You cannot compare yourself to no Megatron, and that's the thing he was trying to do.
He did this. Megatron did that on the regular.
Exactly.
It must just be they stats.
It's a different.
It ain't skill.
No. Definitely not. DK needs to instead of worrying about racing motherfuckers in the offseason, go work on your routes and work on your hands. I'm just saying.
He did have a lot of drops.
Exactly. He too worried about racing
like my
Tyreek Hill.
Man.
until you accomplish what Tyreek Hill has accomplished, you can't really be calling people out.
Tyreek, man, that dude there. I seen like most people think, oh, Tyreek just a speed.
No.
But I seen him get up.
I seen him snag.
And Moss he had one last week.
And he only 5'9"? Maybe 5'10".
Like, but it's just a fact. Tyreek Hill is a hands catcher.
Yeah.
A great route runner. He can run after the catch. I mean,
that acceleration is insane.
And it's crazy because he played a lot of running back in college.
Yeah.
I can see it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, until you accomplish what that man has accomplished to a point where teams really they get nervous having to cover you one-on-one, then you can't really say you one of the best receivers in the league.
And the most disrespectful taunt I've seen in a while. Simple yet, man, if you see that, just go ahead and stop.
I'm not even going to try.
Just stop.
I'll lock him up, but
all right.
I'm just saying. But, really, hopefully we can get him a little more time over here. So like that, I do like this setup.
Yeah. It's pretty dope, man. If y'all in Houston or y'all visiting Houston, come check out the Baron Collective, man. They if you're a musical artist, they do studio sessions and everything. But that's where we at today, the Baron Collective.
Good rates too.
Yeah, for real.
Great rate.
Real fair.
Well, this right here is really like the first episode for the Club 36 podcast. Eventually, once we start getting the audience to grow, we're going to eventually start welcoming guests and stuff like that. We won't always be here. We're going to do some episodes on Clubhouse. That way people can actually join. People could hear the audio live and stuff like that. That way, if y'all got anything y'all want to say, any questions, y'all are welcome to ask any of us. We all cool peoples. We all respectful. We all understand it. And, we're going to be honest and be real with you. But pretty much that's it. Hopefully we can catch y'all on the next episode. Like I said, got my boy Leland to my left, D Bruiser to my right. I'm Quinn. Shout out to Twan, the other member of Club 36.
For sure.
And we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Peace.